he has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terrence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division.
But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
Of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. I mean, he is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side.
ESPN analysts Dan Rafael and Stephen A. Smith argue that Terence Crawford has the clear advantage over Canelo Alvarez. They note that although Canelo once boasted a near-impenetrable chin, his recent bouts reveal increasing vulnerability, with him taking more clean shots. Crawford's blend of fluid movement, precise timing, and knockout power makes him a particularly dangerous opponent, giving him the ability to both outbox and seriously hurt Canelo.
This boxer, arguably the best in the world, pound for pound. But can you hurt Canelo? If you can't hurt him, I have no doubt he can outbox him. My issue is, if you can't hurt him, what kind of a challenge can you truly pose? What do you say to that?
No, that's a great point. I mean, here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media. And I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention. And he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember Stephen A., all of us looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hyped about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round 1, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, physically, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terrence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terrence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, he didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov's people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. But if you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154, what the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terrence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up to get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think really.
Stephen A. Smith presents a bold and decisive opinion regarding the upcoming fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Without any hesitation, he firmly backs Crawford, expressing full confidence in his ability to secure a victory. According to Smith, what distinguishes Crawford is not just his technical skill, but also his intense hunger and determination to win this fight. He underscores that Crawford's mindset, focus, and relentless drive to prove himself will play a pivotal role in deciding the outcome. The unwavering confidence Smith shows highlights the high regard he holds for Crawford's ambition and the disciplined preparation that fuels his pursuit of success.
Man, that's coming up, the biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But
Teddy Atlas strengthens Crawford's case by stressing the importance of skill over size. He argues that factors like weight or reach cannot surpass mastery of boxing techniques. Atlas points out that Crawford's style, marked by precision, timing, and adaptability, has far greater impact than raw physicality. From his perspective, Canelo's strength and bulk are less effective against a fighter who can outthink and dismantle opponents through technical excellence. Atlas's view reinforces the idea that true mastery of the sport can overcome physical disadvantages and decisively influence key matchups.
Overrated? Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it, but those intangibles.
Al Bernstein emphasizes another key aspect of Crawford's skill set: unpredictability. He explains that Crawford does not rely on a fixed or predictable approach in the ring. Instead, he adapts dynamically during fights, making it difficult for opponents to anticipate his next move. Against a fighter like Canelo, who depends heavily on timing and counterattacks, this unpredictability poses a significant challenge. Bernstein also points out that Crawford's ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances adds another layer of complexity, making it even harder for Canelo to read his attacks and leaving him exposed to combinations he may not see coming.
Crawford, I'm guessing, because that's a big part of how he's won, and everybody feels that and rightfully so, that the way he's figured out, he's constantly changing from lefty to righty. He's a person that alters his attack. Sometimes he's a boxer, sometimes he's walking people down. Canelo's style is more the same in most fights. He is a counterpuncher who's waiting for you to make your move so he can counterpunch you. Then when he has you in trouble, he's willing to move forward. His attack is a pretty straightforward one. On the face of it, you might say Crawford, but I think the thing about Canelo Alvarez is that he has seen every style that you...
Gareth A. Davies highlights Terence Crawford's extensive experience, noting that the American has been competing professionally for over 15 years. This longevity has honed his instincts, enhanced his ring IQ, and equipped him to remain composed under intense pressure. Davies emphasizes that Crawford's skill has never been in doubt, pointing to a resume filled with consistent success against elite opponents. Throughout his career, Crawford has faced diverse styles, from power punchers to slick movers and tough veterans, and has consistently adapted to overcome each challenge. This combination of adaptability, patience, and technical mastery has solidified his reputation as one of the most complete fighters of his generation. According to Davies, this depth of experience gives Crawford a distinct advantage, particularly in a potential matchup against Canelo Alvarez.
That he has been in with. He's come up short against a couple, but he's come through some big challenges as well through his, 65, 66 professional bouts since he was 15 years of age. There's no doubt that this is the biggest test of Terence Crawford's career, not only because of the weight step up, but also because of the level of the opponent. But anybody that's watched Terence Crawford's career knows full well how much talent this young man has. He is absolutely sensational, both as an orthodox and as a southpaw fighter. You can't really tell which is his favoured side. He's that good, the angles that he creates, and the way that he not only dissects people, but the way that he puts his foot down when he gets somebody hurt is
he's spiteful.
He's truly, truly impressive.
But what he also does, and this is where I think people are making the mistake with the fight with Israel Madrimov last summer in Los Angeles, was that Terence doesn't mind doing enough to win. He doesn't. If he knows he's got to win on points, he's happy to tuck everything neatly in the office and win round by round. It reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. It reminds me of Pernell Whitaker. It reminds me of guys that win with ease without overstretching themselves, that don't have to get in a battle. But when he's got someone hurt, as you rightly say, he's spiteful. I'm not sure he'll get Canelo hurt in this fight. But if his timing and his movement are on, the slightly slowed Canelo, who likes to load up these days, could find himself frustrated by Terence Crawford.
Yeah, and there's also the aspect of when he is behind. We've all seen that famous clip where he's fighting Sean Porter. Somebody tells him ringside, they've got him down on the cards. He goes through the gears and stops Sean Porter in the very next round. There's also that element to him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, but he's also fighting someone that's equally as brilliant. A very different type of style, Canelo.
And a fan favourite.
Confidence emerges as a key theme when evaluating Crawford. Analysts note that his performances in both fights and sparring sessions have impressed trainers and fellow fighters alike, showing that his brilliance extends beyond official bouts. His dominance in training reflects a fighter who is always prepared and meticulous in his craft. This consistent excellence builds mental toughness, giving Crawford a deep-seated self-assurance that allows him to enter the ring confident in his ability to outthink and outperform any opponent, including Canelo Alvarez.
He's so confident that he's about to become undisputed. Listen, 2 weeks to go, less than 2 weeks to go now. What? We're talking about 12 days. 12 days. What can we expect from this unbelievable showdown? Listen, the buildup has been absolutely incredible. When you talk about the sparring stories, when you talk about the unbelievable rumors that we've been hearing for the past 10 to 12 weeks, will but Crawford's power carry? Will Canelo age overnight? So many questions that we have when it comes to this unbelievable fight. But not too long to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to find out the truth. We are about to find out who's truly the greatest of this era. And let me tell you this. I said this in most of my videos so far. The more I watch Bud Crawford and the more I watch Canelo Alvarez tape, the more my appreciation for both men increases. Listen, Canelo is the greatest pressure/counter puncher in history when he puts both together. And Crawford is the most dynamic fighters my eyes ever saw. Ever saw. Now, listen to this. The moment this fight got announced, we didn't know the things that we know now. We didn't know about their sparring partners. We didn't know about the shape.
Ari Spears, a comedian and avid boxing fan, offered a historical perspective on the fight. He reflected on decades of matchups where some of Mexico's top champions faced American fighters celebrated for speed and skill. In many of these classic bouts, the Americans often prevailed, largely due to their ability to defend, slip punches, and dictate the rhythm with precise counters. Spears acknowledged that Canelo is a well-rounded fighter with experience against elite opponents, but he suggested that this matchup continues the long-standing tradition of contrasting styles, where timing, defense, and adaptability frequently determine the outcome.
The black dude usually edges him out. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Latino fighters, because look at the greats. De La Hoya, motherfucking
Roberto Duran,
Arguello, Felix Trinidad, what's my man's name? Chavez.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been legends, but 9 times out of 10, when the top Mexican legend takes on the top black legend, the black dude wins. Boxing and basketball is just something that niggas just, we got that wop that just, we edge you out. Duran lost to Hagler. He got knocked out so viciously by Hearns. The rumor is he's still waking up today. He lost he did the no mas with Leonard.
Yeah, no, I've been hanging out with Sugar Ray Leonard recently. We talked about that whole situation.
De La Hoya lost to Floyd. He lost to Bernard. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley. Usually the black fighters edge out the Latinos when it come down to it.
So basically you're saying Crawford's going to win because he's black.
I'm saying he's going to win because he's got skills. But that black component, that's that extra juice.
That's that extra juice? I mean, look.
It's like the Batmobile when it's going fast, and then he hits the nitro button, and the flame shoots out of the back of the car and takes it to another level.
On the other hand, Canelo Alvarez displays his characteristic confidence, dismissing any need for external validation and asserting that no one's approval is required to prove his greatness. Self-belief has always been a core part of his identity as a fighter, backed by a track record of victories over elite opponents. His stance also underscores a contrast in mentality between him and Crawford. While Crawford pursues a defining win to solidify his legacy, Canelo presents himself as already established at the top of the boxing world.
Right? They can't deny you anymore.
I don't know, but I don't give a fuck, dude.
So I feel I'm the best, and that's it. I don't focus on if the people say or put me in the first position. I'm the best. I feel I'm the best. I'm doing because I love boxing.
I call Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. This is my mega fight. This is my moment.
You didn't have much interest in this Crawford fight. You were saying that there wasn't much in it for you, and you pointed out that people will say that he was too small. What changed?
I think he's one of the best fighters for more fun. No, he accomplished a lot of things too. Mexican with the American fighter is always big.
When he fights you at Allegiant Stadium, I imagine it's going to be, 55,000 plus screaming Canelo fans, right?
Sean Porter speaks with unwavering conviction about Terence Crawford's prospects against Canelo Alvarez. He believes Crawford's preparation and mindset are at a level rarely seen in boxing. According to Porter, Crawford will enter the ring with a tailored game plan designed to neutralize Canelo's style. He emphasizes Crawford's exceptional speed, precise timing, and disciplined execution as the factors that will set him apart on fight night. Porter envisions a performance so complete it could redefine expectations in modern boxing, solidifying Crawford's reputation with one of the most decisive victories in recent memory. This bout is being promoted as one of the most challenging and defining moments in Crawford's career. Many regard Canelo Alvarez as the toughest opponent Crawford has ever faced, raising the stakes significantly. For Canelo, the pressure is equally intense. A loss to Crawford, who is naturally the smaller man moving up in weight, could tarnish his otherwise remarkable legacy. In boxing, history often judges these moments harshly, particularly when a larger champion falls to a lighter challenger. For Canelo, victory is about more than pride. It is essential to maintain his place among the sport's all-time greats.
And he gave a resounding yeah. A resounding yeah. He said it would massively tarnish Canelo's legacy. And some of the things that he said were just basically things that most of us know, just some register and make sure that other people know and others don't, right? But it would tarnish his legacy, and for the obvious reasons. One is we know that the guy's older. Crawford's older. He's going to be 38 years old here, right? So he's an older fighter. He's an active fighter, right? And that most of the time, these are things that, make people say that people are going to lose. Man, he's inactive. So he's pretty inactive, hasn't fought in a year, hasn't fought more than once a year in 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years. And also, he's coming up in...
Shoei's, a respected voice in boxing analysis, approached the Crawford vs. Canelo matchup with balance and fairness. He highlighted that Canelo's success has long relied on his toughness, strength, and relentless ability to apply pressure, breaking opponents down with precise counters and a steady pace. His durability and skill in setting traps make him a formidable challenge for any fighter. At the same time, Shoei's noted that Crawford's wrestling background has shaped his sense of balance, control, and anticipation. Combined with his sharp boxing IQ, these attributes give Crawford a unique edge that few fighters can match.
He uses his core and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now,
That wraps up today's video.